Hello everyone, welcome back. As always, I'm Brandon. For this video we're going to be talking about some equipment that will make your life more enjoyable while hiking or trail running. It's that time of the year when people want to start hitting the trails and getting out there and being close to nature. So I figured this video would do that, and the next video maybe we would talk about some tips and strategies to make hiking a little safer and the different types of hiking and stuff like that. So to start things off, we'll talk about the first item that I always bring with me and highly recommend to everyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be this one specifically, but something like it is a hydration pack. So this one is made by Camelback. It's Camelback Mule, and basically what it is, it has a 3-liter bladder back in here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's also a bigger bag. Now some start at 1 liters and they go all the way to 3, but some have not enough room to put anything other than like a snack or something like this. This one you can fit everything that you could possibly ever need in a short-term hike or trail run, and it's very small and handy. And if you've never used a Camelback or something like it before, what it is, it has the 1 to 3 liter bladder in the back. You fill it with water. Some people might fill it with some other electrolyte stuff like that too, and basically it has this hose. And the hose has a little switch on it, this yellow thing, so you can open and close it, and then you suck through it and you get whatever water that you put in there. And it's just a hands-free way so that you don't have to keep going back into your bag, you don't have to carry a water bottle, and you always have water, because hydration is really important, especially when you're hiking and stuff like that. So most of them usually have a clip or something you clip it onto. This just kind of has a hole that I put there, and so if you're running around or bouncing around, it's not flying all over in your face and stuff like that. So definitely recommend one of those. Now all of this stuff easily fits in there with your food and water. I won't talk about food or water in this episode, but maybe in the next one. The second thing that I almost always bring is a hat, and it has 3 functions. The main one that you guys probably know of is keeping the sun off of your head. It's very important when you're exercising and you're already losing a lot of water and stuff like that. If you don't have a hat, it just adds to the heat and amount of water loss you're going to get. And if you're getting sunburned and stuff like that, then that can just make your experience even less enjoyable. So a hat keeps your head shaded. They also have sweatbands in them, so it can keep the sweat out of your eyes. In addition, hats can keep your head warmer if it starts to get rain or if something happens you have to stay overnight, but also they keep bugs and other things like that from flying around and bugging you, and so you don't have to constantly be swatting them out of your hair like that. So highly recommend a baseball hat. For girls, there's shorter brimmed ones. You can get ones that are waterproof, or the new material that is quick dry and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff out there, so you definitely look into it. Next thing I always bring, and it seems like a given, but you don't know with some people, is a watch. A watch, yeah, so you can tell the time, like when it's going to be dark, and stuff like that. But especially if you're going on a trail that you're not really sure, or it's a longer trail, it's a good idea to time yourself out. And usually, some of them are out and back, some of them are loops. But if it's out and back, for example, you could time yourself to see how long it took you to get to the out, and so that you know approximately how much time you have to get back. So if it's getting closer to night, you can stay around and have lunch or something like that. Or if it is getting closer to night, then you have to turn back immediately. So a watch is, seems like a given, but definitely a good idea if you don't normally bring one. The next thing that I always bring are my compression socks. They are really good for, compression socks, which is what they are, which just helps keep your muscles in place and lessens the fatigue from them bouncing around. But what I really like them for more so than that is when you're running along or hiking along and there's a lot of grown over grass and stuff like that on some of the more narrow trails. The grass whips at your legs, and thorns and stuff like that. Eventually it really starts to bother your legs, whether that's through itchiness or through all the scratches you get, and this just makes the experience just that much more enjoyable, because you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Now I usually do bring one of these unless it's completely clear skies, but it's just a very lightweight, rain proof, but mostly rain resistant, but just a warm, kind of lightweight thing that in an emergency, if you had to stay overnight, or if it did start pouring, then you did have something there, because the last thing you want to happen is, you know, just to, for a simple experience that you're trying to have fun with, turn into an emergency just because you weren't prepared. And this is just something so light that it's no skin off your back to bring. And then the next two things is, again, along the lines of emergency. If you're thinking that you're going to be out closer to dark, definitely bring some matches. You never know if you might get lost and have to make a fire, and it can turn you know, an emergency into just a pleasurable evening that kind of like, you know, good story, I had to stay overnight because you got lost. And then on the same line of things is a headlamp, and that's just so you can find sticks or find your way back if there's flagging tape or anything like that, or if you're running at the dark. That's the thing. So I hope that really helps you guys out in your choices of gear that you're going to bring with you this summer, fall, spring, whenever you like to go. And we'll see you next time, guys. Bye. Okay, so that's it for me. Take care and have an awesome week.